Ew, David. Hello, everybody. It is time for another episode of Binge Bitches. We are talking housewives. This is our live show on Fridays where we recap Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of New York, and then soon Real Housewives of Potomac. Oh, so I'm about to bring in our special guest, but it looks like somebody fell off. So we're going to just bring in one of them for now. We have Ms. Vanderpump. She is back.
Hi.
Hi.
I got a new microphone. I'm really excited about it.
I love it. Oh wait, she came back.
She came back.
And we also have Nelson. So how's everybody doing?
Great.
Besides tired and COVID and quarantine.
Yeah.
It has been a lot this week. This has been like a long ass week because it was like, okay, we're gonna shut everything back down. And then all my energy went, okay, I'm gonna shut down. But then I had shit to do. So it's all over the place. Okay, so initial thoughts. This week in the Real Housewives universe, we have Beverly Hills and we also have Housewives of New York. And how do you guys feel about the New York Housewives show this week?
Good.
Well, earlier you were saying you didn't save it for the pod, but you were saying that you thought it was a little bit boring.
A slow start.
It's a slow start.
For New York?
Yes.
It's for New York.
Oh, yeah.
So a slow sizzle into New York this week. But then Beverly Hills was jam-packed. They did a nice little bookend situation because the middle had nothing. But then they bookended it with Kris Jenner and Brandi Glanville. So there was like lots of good stuff there. So let's just roll into the Beverly Hills Housewives of it all because we were back at Kyle's party. We're back at the party. It's in full swing. I like how that they gave us a little bit more Kris Jenner. They gave us some Corey. The Sutton of it all. When Kyle's like, okay, Kris, do you know Kris? Do you know my friend Kris Jenner? Do you know my friend Kris Jenner? She had to be very possessive there. And Sutton's like, oh yes, we met at the Met Gala. And then Kris Jenner was like, of course we did. I'm sorry, but that was shady. That was a little bit shade, and it was like, this is why we need to have a Jenner on this situation now. I think it would be fun. Bring her in. Maybe this is her testing the waters. So
yeah, been on it a lot more. Well, and they also did bring Carney as the
yes, and Carney needs to be a housewife. Period. Yeah. I've said this before. She's good TV, and she and Kyle go back, and it would be great to have like a little bit of like, I want a Kyle feud with somebody who will really take her on. And Carney's like desperate and ex-addict enough that like she would do it. Yeah. Because people who do drugs, they wild out a lot faster than people who don't. And so like she's clean. She's clean and sober and she's rehab, so she has nothing to lose. Like she's totally like, I think she's down for the count. She's down for a party. So I think that's the whole thing. But anyways, so I love that little exchange. And then we resume back in on the couch where basically Camille's like, hi, I want to apologize for everything I said in the past. Like in her like calm voice, so you always sound like the crazy person. I don't like Teddy, but she stood up for herself.
I mean, Teddy is like bringing the big guns. Like even like, I'm sorry, we're jumping ahead to this, but like
go around today because we're just gonna go around.
He confronts Denise, which I'm like, she's trying to keep that diamond. I feel
Teddy, yeah. But which confrontation do you mean? Like later in the episode,
when she confronts Denise about, she says what Brandi told her.
Oh.
Like right,
but
it's what we see for next week's episode.
Yeah, so that's the thing but she's got some balls on her because like if we're gonna so we'll jump around today because the thing is I think when we go like scene by scene we always go into like a 3-hour show and like that's just inappropriate. So let's jump around with ideas and people. So the whole Teddy of it all though is like with this whole Teddy, she is a shit stirrer. Okay, so like Denise called it because the thing is later in the episode when we see that whole flash forward to Italy, they're not showing us them like wheel their carts through like the airport and everything, which means that maybe they have some stuff for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, with that whole thing, when she's inside the car with Lisa Rinna, and she was like, I have to tell you something. No, bitch, you didn't have to tell her anything. You don't have to give Brandi's information out there. You can just do this trip and just be a homegirl. Because the thing is like they didn't really say that she said anything about Lisa Rinna. Did Brandi say anything about Lisa Rinna?
She said that
no, she didn't say anything about Lisa Rinna at all.
Yeah.
No, so that Denise hates her.
What?
Oh, Denise hates Lisa Rinna?
Denise hates Lisa Rinna, yeah.
So that was in the little thing at the end.
Lisa Rinna and Teddy.
See, I thought it was like Lisa Rinna, Teddy, and like she said that Erica's cold and dismissive.
About Erica being a cold-hearted bitch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that, I mean, like there was just a little bit of everything there. So I don't know.
You see how Kyle is not saying anything, and so Kyle's kind of being the Lisa Vanderpump. And like probably having Teddy go do her dirty work for her.
She's being Lisa Vanderpump in every way, shape, and form. She got 100 dogs now. She at her when she showed up at the Shoe Dazzle party, she had Lisa Vanderpump's trademark pussy bow with the sparkly jacket on. Yeah, when she was at her house,
I didn't even look.
Yeah. She and then the thing is and then we also that stupid sign that is like, and I love it can't be signed, but that stupid sign, bitch, you could never be me. Like, what are you putting in the world with that? And the thing is then she has that still sitting in the front just so she gets that nice pink glow. So she got Sir in her front yard. I mean, like,
it calms the dogs. That's what she said.
She said, it calms the dogs, please. That one dog is afraid.
We're like, dogs are colorblind, girl. How do they know that's pink? Like, how they know?
It is calming though. Like it's like I think it's sometimes the hum of those lights. When we had cats, in the past, like we had this like Christmas sign that we used to put on the floor, and it was all cute. It says joy and it had like the little light bulbs, and it wasn't giving off any different kind of light, but there was something about the hum of those bulbs. Those girls would just sit there. So like I think like so there's like a certain thing I think that some light therapy does work. This is LA. Come on. So, but this whole thing with Camille and like, so Camille gets to make up with Denise that like, yeah, I thought that. And the thing is that's Denise claiming somebody for her side. Denise needs to make sure that she needs to set her pawns up because right now she's outnumbered by these bitches. Yeah. And then, but the thing is like, Teddy was like, so, I'm not ready for that. Okay. I'll see you later. You know what I mean? With that whole thing. So, and then Camille like leaves that whole situation, goes back to Kyle, and she's like, I don't know if it's really gonna work between us. So Kyle and Denise like me, and it's like those two people hate each other right now, so it's not gonna work out for you. So you're gonna pick a new thing. But I have a feeling we're gonna get more of this Camille situation because she's getting confessionals. So there's got to be more. We got to see more of her on the horizon. Garcelle. Oh wait. Brandi at the party. She had the nerve.
My God.
Had the nerve to call her Hurricane Kim. And she's the bitch falling on couches and falling in front of the LED wall. And
I lived for that. I laughed so loud when that happened.
She tumbled on the stage.
She was messy.
Like, been there, girl. Been there.
But like, I mean, she seriously, like no shoes, just a skirt and like hair was just like, like we just see that kind of like fall on over. So
like messy.
Yes, but Camille's gonna have to live out that thing when she in the middle of that confessional, and she was like, "Well, Teddy's such a rude little bitch," like, and so she's still gonna talk shit about them when they're not there. So I love that. They bury the hatchet, so we have Hurricane Kim and Brandi. Kim's voice this season, you guys. She's like always like this. Like she just smoked some really good crack, and like her voice is just scratched up. Like allegedly,
she had a big dick in there.
That I don't know though. But that whole Brandi thing. So Wilson Phillips shows up and they perform. Kathy Hilton and Kris Jenner know all the words, and Kyle didn't. Let's just like.
Dorit going, oh, let's have a singing guest. Who did that first? I was like, wow, shade.
But the thing is like, it's nothing to have like, I mean, you live in LA, you should have, if you have that kind of money, you should know somebody and you should have somebody come perform. You know what I mean? Like, this is what Ryan Cabrera is doing right now, you know? So, like, but yeah, like all those like 90s and early aughts people, they're all just running around doing parties at houses and things like that. You know what I mean? Probably Smash Mouth is probably playing next door. But like, so like, it's a little bit something there. I think, that you know, surprise concert, and that still goes with my narrative of how Kyle wants everything that everybody else has. So like, I'll take it, Dorit. And plus, Dorit's becoming the all-star of the season, you guys. She's the nice one. She's cultured. she knows Italian.
She's cultured.
She can speak French.
She's turning the Buco de Beppo into Caesar's. Like, what do they call those? The shops downstairs, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's turning
Forum.
like yes, she's got shops at the Forum. That's what she's doing to Buco de Beppo. She's turning all the walls into like the ceiling. Like that's what Dorit is contributing to the world right now. Oh, and then we have the whole Denise and Aaron. They sneak into the room where Brandi is having drinks with Adrian and Brian. Okay, Adrian's new boyfriend has had like no plastic surgery, and she's had all the plastic surgeries. So between the two of them, they're a normal person. So,
so bad.
He seems very nice, huh?
She looks so bad.
It's just, that's money, girl. That's what money does to you. You're like, I own the basketball team. Well, we'll make it look like a basketball, like just like with a nose. They're inside. They're doing shots in the fun room, and so Brandi's behind the bar. She drinks a whole glass of a shot while everybody else is waiting with their little thimbles. And it was like, oh, this bitch is gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. And then when Brandi just kind of brings up, like, I've never apologized to her. It's been 12 years. You know what I mean? So, you know, that was season 2. We're on season 12. It's been 10 years, but I'm going to give you that apology because we're finally on camera together for the very first time. So she gives her that weird apology. And then there's that weird moment so Adrian's like, fuck this, I'm out of this room. You know, I know what shit's going to happen here. So Adrian leaves them, and it's Aaron, Brandi, and Denise. And so this is after what Brandi's going to allege happens later in the episode.
Yeah.
Why is Brandi all so cool with everything with the two of them? She's asking to be in a throuple. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like to see, the thing is the show is shot in a certain way, and this is after the party, and Brandi comes to say stuff. But why didn't she have an issue even being in the same room with Denise and Aaron in the beginning?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Even when she first arrived, she told Kyle, she's like, I feel, what did she say? I'm nervous about being there. And then they shot to Denise and Aaron right after she says that. Yeah,
but the thing is I would think that she'd be nervous just to be in the same room with all these women that she has kind of fucked over in one way or another in the past. You know what I mean? It's your first shoot that you're not just one-on-one with a housewife, but you're actually going into the lion's den, and there's a million girls there. I don't know. I'm having little issues with the whole Brandi of it all, and I love me some Brandi because she pushes the storyline. She's really good at what she does as being a housewife, but I didn't love the end of this whole thing. So, So anyways, we have...
How does Denise not know what a throuple is? Like, are you kidding me?
You were married to
when the
Sheen.
producer had to explain it to her.
Yeah, you were married to Charlie Sheen. You were in a movie called Wild Things. A threesome is like the biggest deal ever. You know what a throuple is.
She knows what threesome is. I don't think she knew what throuple meant. So, like...
But, I mean, like, come on. You know what Brangelina is, just with the two names. Like, you should know what a throuple is because it's a compound word. It is like a word.
That's true.
So, like, come on, don't act that stupid. And the thing is, I think there's a little bit of truth in what everybody's saying here. The whole fact that Lisa Rinna is going into this whole thing that Denise is trying to rehab her reputation from the year before. She's saying a little bit of that. And so maybe Denise is trying to act a little bit innocent on some things. But, like, bitch, you drove your husband around LA to go get a happy ending. So like, we know who you are. Yeah. We know who you used to be married to. Embrace it. Just be that bitch. And the thing is, and stop letting them gaslight you over the fact that your kids were in the room. Because that's another thing here, is they're going to change this narrative. So let's bounce around here. So when they're going to change the narrative here on Denise, that everything was about, you know, oh, she thinks that we're bad moms, that we don't want the kids in the room. And now the narrative is Denise runs away. And then it became Denise now cuts off conversation with the whole Erica of it all. When Denise was like, okay, so let's talk about this. And Erica throws out something about Aaron.
Yeah.
And Denise is like, we'll get to it in a second. Let's finish this. And Erica shut down. Erica decided she was not going to be receptive anymore to anything that Denise had to say.
Yeah. Which is kind of rude, I think, though, too, because I mean, I see Denise's point. Like, you know, she's like, we're going to get, like, she's like, let me finish this thought and then we'll get to the next thought. But then, yeah, that totally shut Erica down. And Erica was really cold to her, I think, at the end of that. Like, she was, like, so nice and genuine to her. She was like, you know, I respect you. I love you. I have a lot of fun with you. Like, I just want to go on this trip. Like, Erica wasn't really, like you said, that receptive towards her. Like, she should have at least gave her a hug or, like, a kiss on the cheek to be like, okay, good, glad we talked that out. But she didn't do that. So I was kind of like a little upset with Erica, and you know Erica's one of my favorites. So I was just like, Erica, why are you being such a bitch?
She should have done the whole thing and heard her out, say your part. We're good on this part. Now let's talk about your husband. Let's talk about the husband.
Don't bring up the
husband. Like the whole Eileen of it all. Oh my God, they only gave Eileen one little moment where she was trying to dance. Like, Eileen didn't have any drama. She just got left at a drive-by. They just left her on the side of the road. And then like later, she's trying to dance.
Right.
But I just think it's messy. It's messy. So let's jump around her a little bit. I like, we talked about Dorit's Buca de Beppo. Erica's having a shoe dazzle party. With a big, huge shoe cake that nobody ate. You know, not one person had a piece of that cake.
Okay. I am hating Lisa Rinna. I can't stand her anymore because she's trying to be Erica Jane, and she's never gonna be. Like, this new hairstyle and glam. I'm like, get over yourself. I hate her.
She had a broom. She had a broom on her head, and they called it a wig. And then they were like,
yeah. I will point out, though, too, that you know what? If we look at the earlier seasons, too, these girls weren't all about glam until Erica got on board. Erica got on board. These girls saw that she had a glam team or putting stuff together. Like, I'm not mad about it, like, because the girls look amazing. I think out of all the housewives, these girls are always bringing us with fucking fashion and looks, which, you know, the gays love that. And I'm sure the women love it as well. So, but I mean, it is all because of Erica, I think, that these girls are doing glam. Because if we look at Lisa Rinna's first season that she was on, she wasn't, you know, all crazy beautiful.
She looked like a ragamuffin.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is like, I think that we didn't get major glam from Beverly Hills until Erica came through. Like, Erica came on, and then it was like she was going to stunt, she was going to show. And then it became a thing between her and Dorit, because Dorit also went out there. And the thing is, Dorit can pull a look. Yeah. Dorit will go into an archive and pull an old look from an atelier. Like, I love that about Dorit. You know what I mean? And like I'm saying, like, who knew 4 years ago when we all hated Dorit that she would be the Rose this year? Like, who knew this was going to happen?
No, I have to say Dorit is definitely. Yeah, she stepped up her game for sure. Because I never liked a lot of the stuff that she did in the beginning. Like, I was like, what is this woman doing? But her stuff is great. I've been looking at her Instagram. Her like look for the reunion is flawless. Like, I don't like the hair, but that dress and her body, I was like, damn, woman, like, you look good. Like, she's finally, I think she's found a good groove of getting her stuff in.
Dorit has taken more chances that you remember than Erica has. You remember Dorit with all the clips. You remember Dorit with the gold foil on her head. You remember, you know what I mean? Like, she's done stuff that has been iconic, where Erica has consistently give you like a moment, you know? But I will say, I think the girls who actually had everybody beat on glam out of all the franchises is Atlanta, man. Those girls will show up in a in amazing wigs. Like when they take a vacation, like Cynthia Bailey will have a blunt bob, and then all of a sudden she'll have an afro, and the thing is, and everything goes together. Like I think Atlanta kind of beats them all, and Atlanta does it themselves. You know what I mean? Like
that's
so.
Crazy. Well, I mean, because they've had to know how to. I mean, I don't want to give an exception, but I mean, those girls have kind of known how to do their own hair. You know, because it's expensive to go and get your hair done.
And plus, when you also
so.
And the majority of makeup artists don't know how to do black skin, and they don't know how to do black hair. I mean, it's just a thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
so those girls know how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you grow up. I mean,
because we don't know them to take glam with them, right? Like I don't think we've ever seen an Atlanta trip where they're like, "Hey, are we bringing glam with us?" Like,
yeah.
I think they probably use people like around, and then there was that whole era where they did like Priv every week. like they had like Priv showing up every week, and it was like Priv is owned by NBC Universal, who is owned by, you know, it's like that 30 Rock, they're owned by Shineheart, and everything is owned by the big bad. But it's just a little something. But that Shoe Dazzle party was number one. There was 40 people there. We had Eric, we had Lisa there in a dry wig. How about Denise not even trying? Denise showed up like she was going to the mall. Like she had on jeans, a puffer coat. Like she was just like,
that's what we're saying. Like she just doesn't try ever. I think like Denise has money, but she doesn't spend her money on that. Like she doesn't give a fuck. Like she's like, I don't care about glam. Like and everywhere she goes, she shows up in the same outfit. It's a t-shirt, the same jeans. If you look at the jeans, because I look at the bottom of the jeans, and the jeans are like super frayed. Like, remember when that was like a cool thing to do in the 90s? Like, have your jeans be frayed at the bottom.
If you notice,
it shows up in like those clunky heels. Like,
Aaron sometimes has
Melrose Place right now. Okay,
Aaron sometimes has those jeans from middle school that you in like high school when you would like cut the bottom, and so it would like lay over the tongue and like lay over the back. So it was almost like a bootleg, but you were a boy, so you were getting away with it. Like, so. Aaron has those jeans still, you guys. So you get away with a lot when you like look like that. What else did I see here? I just had they announced the Rome trip. They're gonna go to Rome. And then this whole question with Erica. Do you have any pull with the Pope? Can you get it like Denise? Really? Denise? You she wants to go meet the Pope. Like everybody else is like, ooh, we're gonna go shopping, we're gonna go get shoes, let's scarpe. You know what I mean? Like,
I think,
like when
Denise is probably tired. I think she's just legit tired. You know, she's shooting Bold and the Beautiful at like 6 a.m. and she's showing up to these parties, and she's like, "It's time for me to go to bed." Like,
well, that's the other reason why Denise,
a genuinely tired person, would be out of it. And
Denise does not want to put on glam. Yeah. She wants to like leave the office, throw on what's in her trunk, go home, kiss Eloise, give Eloise dinner, like, and then get the hell out. You know what I mean? Like, and then she'll go to the party.
Right.
So, like, it's really. But the thing is Garcelle don't have time for anybody either. So that's another thing we need to talk about, because Garcelle, they're like, she's shooting two TV shows. She's got a movie. She's got this and that. So she's not going to be here again. Like Garcelle
she admitted it though. She's like, you know, I'm not as involved as I should be. So, I mean, at least she's self-conscious about it. She's not like denying it.
On the Rome trip.
Ian Sterling says I bring my glam. I would bring my glam too, Ian.
Yes.
So, okay. So that's that whole thing out. Oh, we get Dorit also asking for another lemons, 3 lines, carcass out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She wants to make it happen.
I totally hate, but we're going to Rich's on Sunday, and I cannot wait to go to Rich's and ask for the lemon with the carcass out.
I can't. So
I just want the bartender to look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Or hopefully there'll be a Housewives fan, and they'll be like, "Yes, girl, I got you. I see you."
Lemon, carcass out.
I'm so excited to use that. I'm so excited. Can we put that on a shirt, please? Carcass out with the story.
It just sounds.
Get on that, girl. Get on it.
It sounds so gross. You know what I mean? Like it sounds so gross.
It sounds super pretentious too. Like I mean, if someone would say that to me, like while I was waiting on them, I would just so roll my eyes at them. I'd be like,
Where'd Dangilo go?
Dude, what happened?
So
she left.
I'm taking over.
It's so weird I got bounced out because I'm touching stuff. Okay, so next scene over here, Garcelle and Sutton, they go to dinner. This made me like Sutton, and it also made me like, where is Garcelle? We need more fucking Garcelle. Like,
and it was cute too because we finally get to see the two of them have a moment because we haven't really got to see them have a moment since the show started, since they're the new girls, you know. So that was cute.
It's gonna. I think this new alliance that's coming is gonna be Denise, Garcelle, Sutton, and Dorit. I think that's gonna happen.
Probably.
And then the other girls are gonna go off this other way. Sure. Yeah. And so because they're starting to show you like these people are getting along. Because they also Garcelle and Sutton, when Garcelle's like, okay, so I mean in my house we weren't taught to talk about money, but where'd you get your money? And so we finally you know, my husband did well. You know, funny, so. Yeah. She was married for 17 years. Her husband did very well, so she got half. And so where are you taking? And then they were talking about, are you taking Glam with you? She wasn't really. Neither of them really want to take Glam. So it tells you something there.
Well, I think the thing is, like you said, she's a single mom. So I think maybe she's looking for someone that will take it, and maybe she can go in with them and like share it. So that way it won't be like so much of an expense for her. That's what how I was looking at it, at least. So, because I would probably do the same thing too. I'd probably be like, well, if someone wants to share Glam, let's share some Glam. Like that way we both get what we want, but we don't have to spend so much money doing it.
True.
Except for Erica, you know, because she paying for those girls to fly and all that. Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, you know, I think Dorit has a better system because Dorit has one girl who does all her shit usually when she goes and flies somewhere. Like when they went to Japan on the junk boat and everything, like Erica had to bring 5 people. Like how is that sustainable? Like how is that really sustainable, Erica, to bring 5 people on a mini vacation with you and put them up? But they got to put them up. Like if I were her husband, I'd be like, okay, we're done. You're like, they're not paying you this much on this show. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. That's like probably $25,000 because you're not counting also like their fee.
But she probably doesn't pay for like their dinners or anything like that. I bet like maybe they're off on their own for food. You know,
maybe. I doubt it though. You got to give somebody a per diem if they're going to be required to be there. But their trips their trips are quick turnarounds. Oh, this is something too. Okay, so we're going to get into this a little bit about New York in a little bit because the difference is because New York is always going to Mexico, and they haven't really been to they went to Cartagena last year, but they haven't really went to any like really great European countries, and they haven't been to Australia. And it's because they have people on their cast with felonies. So those people can't get into those countries. And I think that's something that people don't think is that, you know, like you hear about the Drag Race girls and when they go to Australia and Alaska got turned around because she had a DUI from when she was 21 years old. You know what I mean? That still is on her past record. So they turn the people around. They have to go back home. And this happens all the time, like in UK and everything, that if you have a felony, if you get flagged, you know what I mean, at the thing, they will send you back. So I think this is one of the reasons why New York always is like, let's go to Canada. Let's go to Mexico so it's not a big drive home. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling that's what happened. But anyways, the Beverly Hills girls, so they talk about where
always go to Florida.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then Sutton knows her Southern colloquialisms, whatever, how do you say that word? Colloquialism. Yeah, her kitchen gets hot. Yes, and that tells you too that Sutton does her own hair, and she has a hot comb.
Good for her.
Spends all that money on the things. Okay, so there was a real quick scene with Lisa in her rat house. Like I will always think of Lisa's house as being rat infested because she had rats. Like there was like poop in all the drawers, and it wasn't like rats in one area; they had rats. Anyways. Yeah. They show them wiping their dog's butt, which was like, oh, okay. So this is what Amelia Gray's doing when she's home now.
And you have to do that though. you have to do that with those types of dogs, because I do watch a friend's dogs that have bulldogs, and after they poop, you have to wipe their butts, just because I don't know why they're prone to infections and they have health problems. So
they don't have the muscles in their booties to like push it out, because even like the poodles, that's what they have to get expelled. So this has been Bill Nye the Science Guy. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. So anyways, so they just show Amelia Gray just being completely unreasonable and needing an apartment in Beverly Hills or WeHo that includes security, a pool with cabanas, closet space, racks, ruin her vibe. She wants a kitchen island in an apartment. She wants a kitchen island in an apartment, y'all.
Right.
Like, come on, bitch.
She might be looking for a condo, I think, at that point, right? It might not be an apartment, but maybe a condo. So
probably, but I mean, is she modeling that much that she can afford $5,000 a month? You know what I mean?
Can.
Yeah, well, her mom can, but they said they were only going to give her $1,000. They were like, "Well, we'll give her $1,000."
How much does Baby Gap pay?
It's gonna be more than that, I'm sure.
It's gonna be a lot more than that, especially.
She seems to have had it. I mean, huh?
She seems to what?
What?
We were listening to you, Nelson.
No, all those things are totally you're able. Huh? Oh.
This is stupid.
So all those things are totally, you can find those in LA. I don't think that's a problem at all, but yeah.
It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you, especially for the hoods that she wants to live in. It's going to cost for the hood that she wants to be in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was that little scene. Then we have them all getting ready. What's it called? Oh, no. They were all starting to pack. That's what they were doing. Nothing major in the packing scene until we get to Kyle's house, where Teddy comes over. Kyle is starting to pack. And then
no, you skipped over the most important part of the packing.
What was that?
The dog with the wig on.
Oh yes. It was cute. It was cute.
It was the best part.
Dogs and wigs are cute. And Erica looks okay. So when Erica laughs like that, she looks like herself in the flashback photos. Because when they had that flashback photo of her and Mr. Girardi from years ago, that was a whole different girl standing with Mr. Girardi. And this happens quite often on this show. Like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is really the one when they show a flashback photo, you're like, oh, that's your old face. Like Dorit, like every time they show Dorit, it's a completely different head. Every time that they show Erica, it's like the head is completely different. The lips, the teeth are still there, but everything else is new. And so that's the thing. So at least that's the thing. Lisa Rinna has got the right work done because she still looks like herself from when she was younger. You know what I mean? So
lips were the first thing she got done. That's why. So
those baboon lips. Okay, so we have so they show up. So so now this is where my production head starts going in. Like when I start thinking about the whole Real Housewives as a production and as like a scripted series and like it's a something, not scripted, but things that they self-produce. That's how I want to say this, that they self-produce themselves.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a feeling that Brandi already filled in Kyle about this threesome situation a little bit? She gave her a little bit of details, and this is why we keep bringing up threesomes up to this whole thing. You know what I mean? And why is the whole thing about Denise being one way with them and another way with other people, and so like is this a little bit out there? And it just also felt a little made up. Like Kim had to stop by to drop off dresses, which Kyle knew that she wasn't going to take any of those dresses with her. So why did Kim have to drop them off so quickly? And then and Brandi's in the car.
Yeah, the girls were so camera ready, I was going to say, because it was this like, well, yeah, if you were just coming by to drop off shit, like I know you're going to dinner. Yes, you'll look a certain way at dinner, but I mean, would you have been so glammed up?
I don't know.
Kim's if you weren't going to be on the show,
Kim is the person who steals from Target, and she showed up.
Too, right? Like they come into the house. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like Kim steals from Target, so we know that she's got regular clothes to like go out. And like she showed up, and she had a full like Louis Vuitton case on, like you know what I mean. Like it was cute, the cute bag, cute coat, Kim looked great,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
No voice, but still Kim looked great. And the thing was, is then she's like, oh, and Brandi's in the car. Okay. And so great. So they Brandi. Kim is mic'd. Because we hear what's going on in the car when Brandi's like, oh, am I just going to stay in here? So Kim knew that she was going to be there for a minute, so they mic'd her at least.
Brandi was mic'd though too.
Yeah, or maybe mic'd when she first got in. I don't know. See, that's the thing, is it felt a little set up, and like it was maybe going to be brand new information for Teddy, but I feel like Kyle knew, and Kyle's pulling a Vanderpump here. She's pulling Elisa Vanderpump, and she's producing this.
Totally.
It was also funny though too, because Brandi also said, she goes, well, I don't want to get into all of it with you, but then she got into all of it with us. So
and then the whole thing, okay, so those of you guys who are tuning in right now, we're talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we're just talking about last night, the last scene, not last night, but this week's episode, the final scene here where Brandi is basically going to divulge all the information that they're going to now use for the whole rest of the season, because we know that's what's going to happen now. This is going to be the centerpiece of the rest of the season, because that's how the show rolls. So with that being said, Brandi comes in, and Brandi, number one, is the first person to give you the tea, and just to be like, oh, and now she's getting a little bit emotional, and like the thing is and she's making this about, I was cheated on, and now I'm being the mistress, and blah, 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 blah. And it feels a little thing, and the way that she talks about Denise, and like Denise was grooming her, and Denise was tricking her into sleeping in her room. I didn't like that narrative. I didn't like it. Like, oh, there was no extra bed. You're going to sleep with me. You're going to, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little.
I mean, I think that was all super innocent, though. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I think it's super innocent. Like, you know, like you're my good girlfriend. You're my good Judy, right? Like, you know, like if you were like in Vegas when we were for my birthday or something, you know, like, and like you didn't have anywhere to stay, I'd be like, oh yeah, just stay with me. You can sleep in my bed. Like, I would think nothing of that. Like, I wasn't trying to groom you, you know. So maybe that's what this was, but we don't know because of.
But Brandi's putting that spin on it, though. That's the thing, is Denise was being the friend, and Brandi's putting this spin.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And like this happened, like there's on Brandi Glanville Unfiltered. You can actually like listen to the podcast, and this. I think it's still in her catalog. You can go back and listen to the Denise episode that happened the day that she ended up going with her to wherever that they stayed the night together and all that. So like you get the feeling earlier in the day that they're like friends, you know what I mean? And they were flirty and whatnot. But I mean, just this whole thing, and like it just felt a little slimy. I don't know. And then the whole thing with like Kyle's like, well, you know, Brandi may be a bitch and she may be crazy, but she's not a liar. Let's rewind real quick. Let's rewind.
Yeah,
let's rewind back to when she was saying that Mauricio was cheating on you.
Yeah.
Remember this? That was a whole thing. We had a big storyline about that. So now Kyle is saying that Brandi never lies. You were the biggest lie in the past. You know what I mean? Like, she told the truth about Adrian. She told the truth. You know what I mean? Like, but Brandi was, but the whole thing with Kyle and Mauricio was the lie. And so now Kyle's just going to throw it all out because she's got a reason. She doesn't want to like Denise. It's her versus Denise. And so now she's going to latch onto this. It was a little gross.
Do you believe it though?
I think half of it is true, and I think half of it's not. I think that Denise and Brandi hooked up, you know, but Brandi is going to use this to get herself back on the show. This gets her a diamond.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, this gets her back into the mix. You know, you're like, this is also the other problem here, is that this show, all the good shit is happening from the friends of. This cast needs to be redone. Make Kyle a friend of now.
Yeah, Camille. I mean, and Camille said that too on Twitter. I remember that we were talking about this last week. You know, when she said that, like, you know, let's make sure that, you know, the friends of aren't the ones running the show. It needs to be the main people. So I think they're looking for the main story though too, was between Rinna and Denise. Remember that we see coming up too. So
yeah,
but that's not strong enough. Unfortunately, it's this story.
Well,
this story is what is giving everyone what they want. And it was a big portion for them to have film a lot later than they did. Because, I mean, they're filming into December when usually the girls only film in the summertime. True. Because of the rumors of Denise leaving the show. So, which we'll probably find out or we'll get to.
Because, well, we're seeing it's holiday time, too, because the house is decorated. And they made a point to show you that Kyle's Christmas tree was up. You know what I mean? Like, that that this is coming to the point where Denise stops filming with the rest of the cast. Does that mean Denise still films with some of the friends of? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, so I just think it's a little bit thing. It's the whole that there was conveniently not in there. I did write in here Brandi's confessional. So Brandi has confessionals.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how Leah comes to us straight out of the IKEA.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody else have a feeling that when Brandi was there, it was like living spaces? Like that's really what like that's what I heard in my head. Like she got that taupe furniture with like the throw blanket in the background. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, she's got living spaces happening.
She looked bad though. In her
plus her look wasn't that great either. I didn't think her look was not up to par. So
no, it looked like it like she. Too. It looked like she put her shirt on in a rush.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, none of the girls.
Like, I have to do this today.
Home confession, None of the girls' home confession looks look great. I think the only one who looks great is Garcelle, which I'm like, Garcelle did that home confession, and again that goes back to saying that African American women are more used to doing their own hair and makeup themselves because they don't really have people available to them to do that. So
their confessionals do look a lot better than New York's though. Like theirs do look professional.
They do. I'll give them that.
Sonja's looking pretty good though.
Yeah,
her confessionals, because she had 3 different ones now. Because one of them was in Palm Springs. That was the first one. But I think she's back home now, and I want to say she was wearing a pink number. She looked really good in it.
Oh, that one looks amazing.
Yeah, that pink number looked good on her. Yeah.
And the pink number is the pink number is the most fresh one because that's the one where she because they've now said that she has a new face, like $75,000 face.
Well, she got her neck done.
Yeah, she looks.
She went on social media about that.
She looks incredible, and she looks. She's sober. She's with it again. So all the storyline is kind of moot when we get over to New York. The thing is I do not like this fuckery, this whole thing with Brandi, because I felt slimy. It felt a little gross.
You do feel gross, but you can't help but want to hear it and know more. Because you could see that Teddy was legitimately shocked, because I don't think Teddy's ever heard anything like this in her life. She's like, oh my God.
I think
Kyle looks semi-shocked because I think Kyle knew a little bit. So
I think Kim told Kyle.
There you go.
Kim told
because Kyle,
but she just
Kim
had to
already
pretend to look.
So and then she even said, "Well, this is your thing. You tell the story." So I think she fed that into Kyle and was like, "Hey, this will make a great storyline."
I think Kyle's known about Brandi and Denise hooking up the whole season, which is why she's building this. Why she's building this whole narrative of well, she's a hoe. You know what I mean? Basically, that's what Kyle's saying, is that she's been a hoe forever, and now she's all of a sudden concerned about it. That's Kyle's narrative that she's kind of putting out there. It's not cute. It's really not cute. Yeah. So I wrote, this is a problematic storyline. That's what I wrote real big. as I'm writing my notes, I'm like, Brandi got kicked to the curb, and so he tricked you.
It's time to bring her back, anyways. It really is.
Yeah, give her a moment. The thing is, it's just from her living spaces. Let her come back. The only problem is that she doesn't really show her kids, because her and Eddie have that thing. So I think that's the reason why Sutton couldn't get the whole season, was because her ex-husband wouldn't let the kids be filmed. So it's kind of what they kind of keep putting out there.
Don't Eddie and Leanne have a reality show though, and the kids are featured on that show too, or no?
I don't watch things about Leanne Rimes. I don't know.
No, neither do I. I mean,
I love Leanne Rimes.
Doesn't Leanne Rimes? Who knows anything about Leanne Rimes? Okay,
right?
Taylor Swift came out with an album today. Okay,
The Moonlight is the best song ever.
Yes.
No, because we're binging season 7 of Drag Race right now, which is fun. And we talked about it being a forgettable season, but last night the guest judge was Leanne Rimes. I was like, why the fuck is Leanne Rimes a guest judge? And she was a guest judge with Nelson Ellis from True Blood. I was like, that's just such an odd pairing to have together as guest judges, I think. So, and then they didn't even use one of her songs for the lip sync song. I'm like, how do you have like a musical guest be your guest judge and then not use one of their songs from their catalog as their song for the lip sync? Like,
the songs are boring. That's why.
Well, they did dance remixes to everything from Coyote Ugly.
Casey Musgraves, remember? Casey Musgraves was on All Stars, and they didn't use any of her songs. They used a Lizzo song instead, which was better choice, by the way. But because no one knows Casey Musgraves.
Oh yeah, we can get into a whole conversation about how Drag Race is not picking the right songs because you use Kennedy Davenport and you put a Reba McEntire song on. Go home. Why do you have Kennedy Davenport even there? You wasted her time, made her get on a plane. That's not even happening. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Is so that basically they did a full flash forward. You know what I mean? Like so at this point, like. Brandi's now, you know, needing Kim to like console her. Kim's gonna take her to Reiki and a meditation sound bath. And I was like, oh, this is so LA, so gross. Like, we're gonna go get some Reiki done on you. Yeah, and I wrote Brandi's not a liar, ? Mauricio. That's what I wrote. So like Kyle, none of us know Denise is what she keeps on saying. Kim was like, well, we just wanted you to know what you're really dealing with here. like a bitch. Who is Denise? And then, you know, but then they did the whole flash forward.
Being the shit stirrer.
Yeah, totally. They flashed us forward because we're going to start right in Rome now because we have 18 hours later. All the girls are going. Denise and Garcelle, apparently they missed a flight or some shit.
They're delayed by 2 hours.
Yes, this tells you they smoke weed. But like, so allegedly. And then Teddy tells Rinna, you know what I mean, that in that car ride. So they're showing that now Rinna's now gonna know. And she's like, did they fuck? You know what I mean? So because Rinna likes to put things out there real big.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna confront Denise. So that's what we're gonna be going into next week. And so that was just kind of like it was a juicy episode. You know, I think if they can keep this momentum, Beverly Hills Housewives is back officially.
Why weren't all the girls on the same flight though? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like maybe they had different scheduling things.
Scheduling. Who knows if they also brought staff?
Because usually they're all on the same flight together. What's up?
Yeah.
They needed Denise not to be there to set all this up.
True.
Oh, okay.
Because
usually they're all on the same flight together. I remember when we saw that leak that someone had posted like on Instagram, some flight attendant, remember? And we see all the girls getting off the plane. Because I remember we sent that to each other and we were like, oh my God, where are they at? Like, so, yeah. But I mean, we don't get that this year, so.
Yeah, I think, but it's good though because we're not going to be wasting time there. I mean, like we didn't even waste that much time with them packing this year when usually we see like every single peep. Yeah, because they actually have a storyline. Like, you know, when they went to like Japan, they were like, okay, so let's show all the sketches of Erica. You know what I mean? And it's like, I love when they do sketches of somebody in clothing that already exists. So it's like, you know, you could have just took a picture and just said like, hey, this is what you're going to be. But then they do like these fashion sketch plates. And so it's just, you know, when you got the money, do it. Okay, let's flip on over. Let's talk about New York because I know that we're going to probably talk about some stuff that's happened in Beverly Hills still. Okay, so New York Housewives. It was a cute episode. They're setting up. It's a setup episode because we've had so much going on lately.
Oh yeah.
That they just kind of need to show too the girls don't drink every single minute of the day.
They have tea sometimes.
They do. They have tea. Sometimes they go to meetings and stuff like that. So bouncing around
Leah
here.
Going back to the bathhouse. We see Leah going
Leah went back
to the same one, or was it a different one?
It looked like the same
one. It's the same one.
Yeah.
It's the same one.
I think they go to the Russian bath.
She loves that bathhouse, girl. Like she's VIP there. She's like you when they go to Vegas, girl. She's
Not anymore. Nobody has points. But okay, so let's just jump into that whole sort of thing. So Leah's mom hates her. And so this is why Leah has so many mommy issues. and like why she's replacing her mom with Ramona, and it's never going to work out because she hates her own mom, so she's going to hate Ramona too. So what are you doing, lady? Like, it was so her mom was basically said that she doesn't like Leah's new face and her new ass and everything else. Is that what she was basically saying? Because it bounced around a lot there. So when they were talking with Sarah, and so that's what she's gonna go get her boobs done, and she's gonna get her vagina done and do everything else because she hates her mom. Mature. This is a full woman. When you hate your mom at a certain point, then just don't talk to her anymore. If that's that's what's gonna be your thing, you know what I mean? And so they do this thing where we have this whole line of Sonja's house is like completely falling apart. So
I feel like every season Sonja's house is falling apart. I don't know. Like there was I can't remember what year it was, but whenever I travel and I'm out, I always hope that they have Bravo on and I'll watch whatever franchise of Housewives it is. But I remember this like the last time I watched New York, like her house was falling apart. And I was like, woman, get this house together.
She blamed, the thing is, Sonja blamed Tinsley. Like she was like, well, when you first showed up, the ice was yellow. Now it's brown. Tinsley's like, okay, well, I'm not ice here. And it's not my fault that you're brown. So this is a problem that you need to handle in your pipes. So we've been having these water problems forever. I mean, like there was, I want to say Sonja's very first season that she was ever in, season 3, was when she had the hot contractor there and she couldn't figure out why her toilet wouldn't flush. And so she reaches her hand in to the bottom and pulls out her old BlackBerry. And she was looking for it. She had been looking for a BlackBerry and it was in the toilet this whole time. Like the thing is like, so this just tells you there's a history of Sonja in this house. It is haunted and it is haunted by Sonja. Like there is no ghost. It is Sonja's problem, and she keeps doing these things. She's talking about one contractor who was cute, by the way. she's like, I'm sorry, is the water still running? Like, she's like, the toilet's not working. Oh, I've been trying, and it's like, sell the place, Sonja. Sell it. You know, like
I mean, like how big was that BlackBerry that it even got down to like where it needed to? Like
it's just that's Sonja. Like
I can't, like I don't know. I can't imagine. Here, let me put my phone in the toilet later to find out.
Well, the thing is then she's also talking about how like the people who were supposed to be there for 5 years, they decided to leave early because the house is falling apart, Sonja. Right? That's why they decided to leave early. You know, like, so she's getting it renovated. She's gonna make everything white. Great. So she's just gonna be just purging money right now into this place. Well, she needs to sell it.
$75,000 in her face. She could put $75,000 in the home that's falling apart. Okay.
True. Those were okay, but that face was probably done. It was worth $75,000, but that was probably like you know, little points here and there from like friends and you know, in Life and Style. I went and saw Dr. You know, whatever her name is, the one that Ramona uses all the time. They have that flip. Okay, Luann and Sonja go to that, what's it called? Future Society. No, Founders Society.
Founders,
yeah.
They go to Founders Society. They go to this meeting. And so I think Luann did a pretty good job of telling her like little story. I'm not gonna knock that. We get a second scene of Luann crying, which we never see Luann cry. Yeah. And this time she actually had a couple tears. Yeah. So we have a little bit of that she, you know, she had been locked up.
It made her very likable because she became so vulnerable. Like I'm not like a huge Luann fan at all, but like seeing her be vulnerable like that and be so open and honest about her story and how like even though she only spent one night in jail, how affected her life is. Like that kind of made you go like, wow, like I'm really glad that you're doing this and that you turned something so negative into something positive to help other people. Like I have a lot of respect for that. Like I looked at her a whole different way.
She didn't dress up too. Like she was very like her clothing was very mellow. Like Sonja that stuck out like a sore thumb.
Well, remember like last year or 2 years ago with Bethany when they did the when they went to the AA meeting, when she forced Sonja to go with her, and Sonja was gonna go like in a sundress and this whole like thing, and like Luann's like, you can't show up like this. This is not how you're gonna be.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was funny.
So it was a little something. Oh, but when Sonja showed up, she showed up like a lady off the subway in New York City with 18 bags. Like, why does she have so many shopping bags that were all old shopping bags? They were even like new ones. Like, she didn't just go shopping. She's like taking stuff around. Like, that was her cleaning. She had to go to the dry cleaner later.
I was wondering like maybe she was bringing like clothing for them. Like, if it's that type of place that like helps you get yourself back on your feet. Like, if she was bringing like some of her old clothing for the women. Some
of the wet clothing from the basement? Is that what she brought?
Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
It was too much. It was too much for this. But yeah, so I mean, she did a nice job. I just put Sonja and her bags of crap. That's what I wrote on here. Luann cries, and that was pretty much it for that like little scene. Oh, but okay, but Luann did go real quick from like, and so I know what it is to be shackled with your feet and hands, and know what that feeling is. And we're gonna go to the spa. Come on, ladies. Yeah, she's like, I mean, there's like a moment when the ladies are like around her and she's like grabbing them and hugging them for the photo op. You know what I mean? Like, come here, get closer. We need this camera angle. You know, like it was like, oh, okay, she's doing it. She has that lady in a headlock. She has that lady in a headlock. So that was cute. What else here? So then we flip over to Ramona and Leah, because nobody will go with Ramona to do the final walkthrough because they're all like, yeah, you use this for pictures. And so
I thought she was going to use Leah. I'm surprised they didn't do one.
I think he did do it though, because I think that there was a picture that did pop up online. So there's been some conversation about it. But Leah, this is another thing, like Leah with her dysfunctional mom situation. And so I didn't find Ramona as I find a Ramona, you know, crazy sometimes, and her attitude and everything can be abhorrent. And you're just like, what is this lady? But the whole thing with what are you wearing was like a joke with her. You know what I mean? Well, I don't want your tits out, blah blah blah, because this has been a running theme with Leah. It would be different if this was like Tinsley, and she was telling Tinsley, I don't want your tits out, and Tinsley's like, my tits are never out. But Leah's boobs are always out. So there is a reason why Ramona made it a joke about it. But then then Leah turns it around. And so that was all that kind of like really took out of that scene, except for the fact that they're all supposed to wear black.
Black, yeah.
And then Ramona, she was like, all these ladies are from the Upper East Side. I know what to expect. It's going to be facelifts and it's going to look like a MAGA rally. When she said that, I died. She said it's going to look like a MAGA rally. But I mean, that was kind of that. But so that takes us right into the scene with Dorinda and Elise and Leah, where we're seeing that's the new crew right now too. Even online, is those three are the ones who are getting along in this cast. Luann is a neutral, and Ramona's on the outs with everybody. But so this whole thing with Sonja's in trouble, you know, and now Dorinda, you know, she's hurting. She needs some. Why didn't she tell me? Dorinda, you've been the crazy one for the last like 5 episodes. What do you mean? Why didn't we tell you? Because we're all afraid of you, Dorinda. like you're scary. But they did that flashback that Dorinda, Luann, and Sonja went to see Sonja go speak at a school, which was great. Yeah. And then Lou and Dorinda left, and Sonja stayed and partied. Do you remember seeing these headlines?
No, I don't.
Yeah. I remember this, and so that she got kicked out of. There's actually video of her on the street crying with like her gays. Yeah, because she had just singing at a piano bar and she got too drunk or whatever, and they kicked her out. And I think it was just because she was like making too much noise on like a mic or something, or she went to smoke a cigarette indoors. I don't remember which one it was, but there was all kinds of rumors. And there's video of her on the street. But Dorinda's like, you know, this is going to be her new cause. Dorinda's new cause is going to be, you know, Sonja, and she's going to make her better. But she makes her better by yelling at her when she first sees her at the party. It's like, come on, Doe. It's just we're seeing a little bit of this. They're going back and forth between this scene and like, you know, Sonja trying to be like, we're going to set white and we're going to fill the place up with tchotchkes. Sonja. Tchotchkes. She called them Chachis, which I loved. And then that whole thing with, oh, what are you going to wear? And then so Dorinda's bringing out like clothes that she's going to put them in. Okay, when Dorinda put on that dress with all the ringlets and the ties, question. Number one, why did she own that dress? Number two, were those her real boobs? Those were her real boobs.
No, that was a breastplate.
Are you sure?
I swear it had to be.
Okay, I rewatch it because I think those are her real boobies.
Yeah, that's a breastplate.
Like,
no, girl, that was a breastplate.
Like
okay, I hope it was because it just everything about it scared me. But why is that in her house? Like, what is she doing with that? Like, in her brand new house. Yeah, but like her brand new house, none of the boxes are unpacked. I have a big mess, and then she had this dress just like laying around. So I kind of wish she would have wore it to the actual event.
Me too.
So, now, okay, flipping over, let's go right into the party, the situation. Sonja is amped up in this car. She hates everything about Ramona at this moment. And these are all of Sonja's friends that she's introduced. And, you know, some of these people were at her baby shower 19 years ago. And now Ramona's claiming them as her good friend. When Sonja says, just because you buy a ticket to the charity event doesn't mean you're actually friends with the girls. And it's like, oh, this is going to get ugly. Not letting it go. Sonja has a tag on her jacket because Sonja's a mess. We get there and we're also, I didn't realize, it didn't.
I'm like, who comes with this tag on their jacket? That was so funny.
Sonja, like when she's like, do you have a knife? And the guy's like, get back from that, Stones. I love. Okay, so the things that I'm gonna take out of this party, the biggest things are number one, these shady ass producers who are putting friend number one, friend number two, and then they finally show friend number 50, and it's like ding 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 50, you know, like she won a fucking prize. And then there was the girl though. If you go and you watch, what's her name, Lucine or whatever. I didn't write it down. I'm so mad at myself for not writing it down. But they show, and it was like more Sonja's friend than Ramona's in her like little Chiron. If you go back and you watch, one of the girls, they don't ding her because she's more Sonja's friend than Ramona's. Sonja kept her on. The whole thing that they're supposed to all wear black, and Sonja, Luann, and one other girl show up in like color, and so along with Ramona, and she is not happy about this.
And Sonja didn't just show up in colors. Sonja like came like dipped in the Lisa Frank catalog, girl.
She was like, here we go. And she bought a gray jacket just to come in too. That was the other thing too, it was a brand new jacket. It wasn't even like, oh, this was just laying around, I just grabbed it. It was like I went and intentionally bought something not black. Was the jacket gray? Yeah. It was like this gray. It was a gray.
I thought it was like a light blue, like kind of like a turquoise to like go with the dress.
I don't know. It looked a little gray. Maybe it was blue. Okay. Maybe it was a periwinkle even. So it was just too much. Ramona, she ignores Leah when Leah first shows up. Rude, because the people who are there. Yeah. Number one, it's because Leah is brand new housewife. So nobody knew who the fuck she was. So Ramona wasn't going to do that. You know what I mean? And then you also so like later on when she does see Leah's wearing a completely naked dress. Like she's wearing a bodysuit with the sheer dress over it just to be that person. And and Ramona's like, it's okay because there's no men there. That's the only reason why it was okay that Leah was in that dress. Was because there was no men. They announced a Mexico trip here. What else did I put on here? Ramona's speech. So weird. She thanks all the ladies. She admits to Dorinda's like, I bought you a dildo. And she was like, and then Ramona's like, I don't even use a dildo. I like to use my hand. She said that in the mic. Like this little woman.
The camera goes to Avery.
Exactly. And it was like, oh my God, Avery, what is this party, Mom? What exactly is this setup? Like her mom, like Avery didn't even know what the hell was going on. And she was like, what does this say? Everyone goes to Ramona's living room.
Yeah. But she was like, you don't even have 50 friends.
That's like, exactly. But
even Avery said that.
How lazy was this party planner? How lazy was Larry Scott that he was like, like, everybody goes to my living room. This is what I do. We're going to write that. We're going to write that on the bar. Everyone goes to Ramona's living room. This is not a theme. That wasn't clever. You know what I mean? And if he would like that, then the whole place should have looked like Ramona's living room. He should have done Ramona's living room on steroids. So everybody was like, wow, but it was like, it had nothing to do with nothing. It was stupid.
It looked like a
girl, it still looked like a ballroom in a hotel is what it looked like. So
yeah, it was just red flowers and that was
it looked like the red dress party. That's basically what they were at, the red dress party, except for it wasn't in a museum. And so, and the thing is in this red dress party comes complete with MAGA supporters, and our red dress parties do not. So there's a difference. So what else here do we have? That Sonja. Now we can go after the speech, and she goes, "Oh, this speech, blah blah blah." Now we'll go back to drinking with 99 other women. She's so bitter about being there with all these women, which I love.
Right? I was like, how boring is this party when it's just like all these women? Like, God, I'm like, where are the men at? God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is like, for the woman who's always running around, I think that's the other thing too, is Ramona didn't want the competition. Focus on me. Don't focus on men. Don't focus. Just focus on me. Ramona's speech. I told that already. Okay, so Dorinda goes to talk to Sonja. She goes to yell at Sonja about you're hurting. I can tell you're hurting, and so you stupid bitch, you're gonna let me help you. Why didn't you tell me that you were gonna go out to the gay bar that night and get kicked out? Well, number one, she didn't know she was gonna get kicked out of the gay bar that night, so that's why she didn't tell you she was gonna go get kicked out. It wasn't premeditated. And Dorinda keeps on what isn't she communicating? What's wrong with her? And then Dorinda gives her little, her alliterations for everything. Well, listen, let me be your raft. You need a raft. Climb up on top of me, Sonja. Climb on top of me. Which later Leah does climb up on top of Luann.
They all do.
And then Dorinda does. Okay, so that was the most non-sexual train ever. Leah's up there, and Leah's the stereotypical blonde white girl who gets to do whatever she wants at a party. You know what I mean? And she's a kook. You know what I mean? So she's humping Luann, and I think Luann was ugh, but then she noticed the camera was on her, so she was like, I'm so funny. Leah, she's the kook. Leah, she's feeling Giovanni. So. Oh, back to the whole, and then Dorinda on the couch with Sonja. That whole little scene there with Ramona's opening gifts. Ramona gets a purse, goes over to that group to try to get the camera to follow her, and then Sonja's like, "It's so superficial, and it's an ugly fucking purse. You have to return it anyways."
It was, dude. How ugly was that purse? I was like, was that a Chanel purse or was it a Gucci purse?
It looked like a Chanel. I think the chain was a Chanel
purse, but it was ugly as. It was super ugly. And then if you think about it, she's like, well, this is the gift that all the girls gave me. Yeah, well, if each of those girls put in $100, yeah, you can get a Chanel purse. I mean, I don't think a Chanel purse is $100,000, but even if it was $50,
it just depends too, because
you're getting a good gift, right?
These women have fuck you money too. They don't need to go in with 15 other girls to get a Chanel purse. That's It's a $1,200 gift. Get 3 of your girlfriends together, and that's the kind of money these girls have. They don't have to do that either. They're doing that because they're not that good of a friend, but they want to make sure they have a good gift.
Did you watch Leah and Watch What Happens Live? What she said about the women?
No, tell her.
She was like, all these women all they do is try to find the richest man and suck their dick, and then they're good to go. It's just like that's all these women are.
Don't we all need that?
Even Andy was like, I love Leah just says it like it is. She's Bethany in that way. Like, she's just like, fuck this.
It's true. I would love to see Leah.
She was wearing the same dress that she wore at the party, but in yellow. She looked really good. Yeah.
Okay. Who was it by? Did she say? Was it an Aliyah?
What?
An Aliyah?
I don't
totally an Aliyah.
I don't know.
I will totally blow your brains out.
So I love Sonja. It's my birthday too. I have.
Oh yes.
Oh,
and I can't believe that they actually shoot the show so close to the holidays like that. Like I'm like, they shoot the show around Thanksgiving. Like that's a lot. Like
this show is always
do they even
shot
shoot it like around Christmas time or.
This show has always went from Halloween. It was always like October, like back to school, and then it doesn't end until April. These girls shoot a long time, so they give you all their holidays, and that's the fun thing about the New York one is because New York is usually magical at Christmas time. You know what I mean? And so and Dorinda does her magical home, and like it's always really I like it because plus. The fashion's better too because they're wearing coats, they're wearing boots, they're wearing all the accoutrement that comes with New York City in the winter and like the fall. So, which I like because they give you like different seasons. Because now we're getting into the fur season because they weren't wearing furs yet up until this part of the season. Which I do love. So that was kind of like this part, and then they start getting into like the full-on dancing. Leah's humping everybody. Ramona's pissed. Dorinda is dancing with that guy with the lady dressed like she's a lost boy from Never Never Land. Did you guys see her like Louis like
a guy at first?
No, it was Ramona's friend number 3, Aaliyah, or whatever her name was. Like she had on she looked like she just took a trip to like Budapest, and like when the people come back with like all of like their accoutrement and they're like, I went to Budapest, and you're like, Budapest? No, it's Budapest. Like that's that woman in person form. Like that's that with her with her cultural happiness on. Leah, Luann, they are saying Ramona doesn't like it. This is when Ramona is now breaking the fourth wall. Get production in here. Get this. Finish this. This isn't a stripping joint. This isn't. I'm quitting the show. So she's like screaming that. Yeah. And so we've never gotten that part of Ramona where she's breaking the fourth wall. So
she went full on crazy. I was like, damn, woman. I was like,
because they're doing this in front of her good friends, her Richie friends. This is appropriate.
I mean, come on. These women all knew it was. They knew what they were in store for when there were cameras at the party. Come on, like you really honestly thought it was going to be like a happy time.
That they're all sneaking and watching this show and they're trying to act like they don't. Oh, like Ramona, I don't watch Housewives. Yes, they do. All these women can go home and they want to see. Yeah, and they all know that Ramona shit herself. Like they know these things. Like her friends all know now.
So also on Watch What Happens Live, Leah said because Andy brought up that there's a fight between Ramona and Leah on social media, and he asked her about that, and she said that Ramona is going around saying that she cheapens the show.
Yeah,
so
she's elevate this. So you know what?
I guess Ramona's sister was bringing up shit too. Like she's the one that went and told Ramona about them dancing, right?
Oh, the Tanya girl? Yeah.
Or it was Ramona's sister.
Yeah, Ramona's sister has gotten a glow up because I actually since I've been watching Real Housewives, she was in season 6 and she did not look like that. Just saying.
I don't remember ever seeing her.
She looked like somebody who worked in a stable. Like that's what she used to look like. Like Ramona got money and she gave her sister a new face. But like it was that whole thing. So then they bring production in, I'll quit the show, and then that's kind of like where they ended things, and they kind of flash into like next week, and it's going to be there's wars that are going to start popping off. We know if you're watching
that
social
party
media,
was getting messy at the end. Sonja on top of the mirrors, like breaking the mirrors.
And I was like, girl. Dorinda ended up getting glass in her foot, and Sonja and her went to the emergency room after that.
So that's what we were saying. We were like, did they get glass on their foot or something? Like, there's no way she couldn't have. Like,
so Dorinda got glass, even though Sonja was the one stomping on it.
Yeah, because I guess like the glass fell out, and then Dorinda got it on her foot and like cut herself. You gotta watch What Happens Live. All this was said in that.
See, I don't always watch it because I think Andy Cohen sometimes just gets on my nerves so much. Like the way he's like, "Oh, so you guys got new boobs?" Like he's just so like Andy Cohen is just so gross sometimes, and so
leave my husband alone.
Yeah, the thing is when you look at his face for too long,
he has a child now. We have to respect him.
No, we don't. We don't respect any of these women, and they all have children. So it's like a thing. So those were our 2 episodes. I know next week we're going to be coming back with more. So we're only on like episode 11 on Beverly Hills. We still have a few.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, so Beverly Hills
got, like at least 10 more episodes to go, right? Like
yeah. So there's plenty that's gonna be coming up, and then we start Potomac on the 2nd. I think it comes back on August 2nd.
I know we're on season 1 right now. Potomac.
Potomac. If you don't want to get into Potomac that way, so this is like something I'm gonna tell a lot of people is you can skip season 1 of Potomac. Season 1 was like Charisse and like Sasha, and she was really trying to make herself Sasha Fierce, and like, and her story ends up being really sad because like, you know, her husband like, you know, doesn't want to be with her, and so like there's
we like it because we want to see where the women came from, kind of, so we can kind of see how their relationships progress. I mean, we really are liking it. I didn't think I would end up liking it so much, but I do like the girls a lot. Giselle's one of my favorites. So. Season
3. Oh yeah, Giselle.
Look at he hit his face. He's like, no.
Giselle is amazing. Giselle is beautiful. Number 1, like I think Giselle might be one of the top like 5 most pretty housewives, like out of all of them. Just like Vanessa Williams. I mean, look at her. Robin is boring.
Giselle's beautiful. She's one of the most. Yeah, she's one of the. I think Giselle is so pretty. Out of all the girls, she's the most beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
So
Robin,
but I like her because, like, she's like, she's kinky. Like, so we saw the episode. It's on the first season where she brings that weird guy on the boat party with her. But I'm like, Giselle, I don't think you're into that dude. Like, you wouldn't even let that guy kiss you after the second date because Giselle likes to get it from behind, get her hair pulled, but still keep it like. I'm a lady in the streets, though. So, and that guy was not going to pull her hair, okay?
Well, you'll start seeing, because the thing is because some of the guys that Giselle, you're going to see some guys that Giselle dates, and you're like, really, that dude? Like, you look like that, and you're with that dude? That's what you're going to see a lot of with her. Robin is boring, and you're going to like she's a doormat season 1 and season 2. That's what Robin is. Juan Dixon is a beautiful man. Ashley, I loved Ashley the first couple seasons. She becomes a little bit annoying. Okay, so spoiler alert to her whole husband situation. So that's going to come on down the road. So with Michael,
we saw that.
Yeah. So if you look around at Michael, like there's all kinds of things that happen. Like that's gonna like it really boils over in this most recent season, but. If you want to look at gratuitous male nudity, you can Google Michael's Grindr pics because they're out there, and like
girl.
Like from the neck down, it looks solid. That face is like Gollum. Like he looks like Lord of the Rings. He's so scary. Like very much that. And so I'm restarting the most recent season just because I didn't watch every single episode. I wasn't like completely into it because I had so much going on. But now we're in Court War, so I'm gonna watch all the episodes. Yeah. I
know. So we're like, girls, come on, we gotta power through this. We gotta get through fucking 4 seasons so we can get to this 5th season.
If anything, start with season 3, because season 3, when they bring Candace and Monique, that's when we get fireworks. That's when this show will pick up. When they bring in the new people, and then also Karen has this really, really sad season that you're just like, it's a heartbreaking moment. But But you gotta love
too. I know we're getting a little off track, but I do have a question because we did notice, like, we're looking at like the future cast and how the cast changes up a little bit. How come Katie didn't come back for a second season? Was
Katie
it because
comes back. Katie comes back. Katie comes back,
but she's not on the second season. It says
no, she's not on the second season. They are not bringing her back after, because if you will see he's not coming back, because Katie is full on cray cray. Katie is a full blown, like, something happened there, and like she would show up and, like, no tea, no shade, her wig would be sideways. Like they would just be like, "Are you okay?" Like she would just show up, like she was in a rush, like all that. But the shade that these ladies throw.
This is season 3, you're saying?
I think it's season 3. Isn't that when Katie comes back? Because we just got season 5 right now of Potomac.
Wasn't it last season?
It was last season. It just feels like it's like forever ago.
Oh, yeah. So she comes back, but she doesn't come back until. But does she come back as a housewife, or she just comes back as like a friend of the show?
Friend of. Okay. So will also come friend of, because really, they've done nothing. There's been nothing like growth, and the other girls, when the other girls are hanging out with you, it's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? And so, and I think that's kind of what happened. But Kate herself was like outside. I mean, her blow up, her crazy fit is worse than a Kelly Ben Simone. It is worse than Kim Richards, because Kim Richards, we knew it was induced by other substances. With Katie's, it's just really, I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's something else. It's just, it's self-produced, but really ugly. It's really, it goes a weird place, but it's fun because you don't really see it coming. But when she shows up, when one of your housewives shows up with her wig on weird, it doesn't work. Like it's just a thing. And so, this is like, and Potomac really is so much, it's leaps and bounds better than Dallas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, speaking of, how is Dallas going to come back without no Leanne Locken? Like that woman imploded herself and said all those racist things, and then where does the show go? Because she really was the foundation of the show. She was the center point. She was a tent pole. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Okay, so before we wrap up, wanted to know what you guys are binging this week. What are you guys watching besides Housewives?
Season 7 of Drag Race right now in our house, because Colin is very into it now. So he, which is really cute, and it's nice because he doesn't know who the winners are. So, and I do have to say, we're like, even me, like we talked about how season 7 was just such a lackluster season. Like there's those things like I don't remember. Like I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Like, but I remember every Drag Race season except for that season for some reason. So.
Well, that's the thing is, season 7 it's a fun season, but I don't remember everything about it. Plus, it's one of the ones that they've kept off of all the streaming services. Where are you watching it?
Oh, we bought it on iTunes.
Oh, Jesus, you guys are real in deep. Yeah, like because that's one of the ones that they don't even have anywhere. You can even see like season 8 places, but season 7 is like the one that they don't want to talk about. Like it's like, they're like, well, you guys got Katya and you guys got what's her name, Violet Chachki, and so go on with your lives. Trying to think what I've been watching this week. I did finish my Nancy Drew. It was cute.
Ooh. Oh, I started it.
Cute.
Did you? Do you like it so far?
Episode 2.
Oh, so yeah, just wait.
Okay.
You're gonna there's lots of jump scares that'll be coming, because you'll be sitting there watching it, think it's like a real calm thing, and you're like, like, so they do a lot of that. It's like when Pretty Little Liars would do those weird things, except for this has spirituality. I did watch I Will Destroy You this week with Michaela Cole. Like,
heard it's good, yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's very there's trigger warnings, but they really show it's great. It's have you heard about it at all?
No.
So it's essentially, this woman, she's a writer, and she's like a celebrity writer. Everybody knows who the hell she is. And so there's a moment where, she's sexually assaulted, and then it kind of goes into what happens there and out. And so with her and her friends and how she's handling her relationships, and one of her best friends is a gay man, beautiful man who you'll see like they have a whole gay storyline that they do not shy away from anything. Like this show, like, okay, get on Grindr, go for anonymous sex.
Series?
No, it's a series. It's a
series on HBO. Yeah,
it's a scripted series on HBO. So it's called I Will Destroy You. I Will Destroy You.
I will destroy you.
Yeah, it's like on episode 7 right now. So I binged all like 7 earlier this week. Been watching that. I'm still on the supermarket sweep, you guys. I'm still watching that. Like,
I mean, too.
It's so satisfying, and it doesn't make you feel like shit. It doesn't make you feel like shit at the end. You're like, Tide, run! Like, go get that Dawn. You stupid idiot! The orange circle's right there on the band deodorant. Get it, And then I've been doing a lot of like the Googling to be like, are so and so a couple? And like, you know what I mean? Like those kind of things, because they always whitewash, and they didn't let you know when the lesbians were on or where the gays were on. So Stoop's cute. I'm trying to think what else have I watched, and I know there was something else that was like right in the forefront of my memory, but watching Harry Potter to go to bed. I don't know why, but that's happening. And
I watch Golden Girls to go to bed.
Golden Girls is fabulous.
Yeah.
And so that's always on my Hulu, like, must watch.
Go to bed.
Really?
Yeah.
Sex in the City.
I do Sex in the City sometimes. I alternate between that and Golden Girls. Golden Girls is just more mellow, and like you don't really need to pay attention to it. So if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. Like Sex in the City, I just like know what's gonna happen, and I always want to see like that one part, and then I'm watching the show. So
there's something random that I started watching that is not my cup of tea, but I heard it on a podcast earlier this week, like on Las Culturistas, I think, and they were talking about it, and so I decided to watch an episode, and it is such a train wreck, but it's amazing.
What?
It's on Disney Plus. It is called Disney Fairy Tale Weddings.
Oh yeah.
It is such a mess, because you can tell these people, number one, are unstable in their real lives. Like these people, like this one bitch spends hundreds of thousands of dollars to get married in the Magic Kingdom in front of the fucking, in front of the castle.
In front of the Snow White wishing well?
And it rains.
Oh,
and like the thing is and it's just raining, and she's like, okay. And so like, and everything's all glamorous, like when she's inside the thing with all of her girls, and they're all in their matching robes. And then when they show they're walking down the aisle, and they show like them doing their vows, she's like wet, and you can just see like her hair is kind of fallen, but she's, yay, I'm getting married at Disney. Now we can run around the park for 2 hours by ourselves, because it's like after hours at the park. And it's like, bitch, it's raining. We all know this sucks. Like you guys spent a lot of money for this. And like, so
it's just look that up. That sounds fun.
It's funny, like in that sense. If you watch it with just that little bit of like, oh, you can tell she was a monster. You know what I mean? Like the very first episode, it's like this girl and this guy are getting married, and he's been to Disney. This is his 30th time going to Disney. And she's like, well, I think it's cute. Like, she's just like you can just kind of see like when they keep the camera on the people for just a second too long. Like, it's like, I just heard what I said. Like, it's very that. So I can say that I've been appreciating that this week. And oh my god, there was something else that I know that I watched, and like it's not even hitting me in the head because I'm not at my house, so I don't have those part of my notes. So it's still at the office.
You're not at home?
No, I'm in my office, my socially distanced office. Aww. It's me. The dog is asleep on the side here, and so
Lucy Pearl.
Everybody keep their fingers crossed that like getting little pieces of business so I can start feeding myself.
Right? Girl,
I hope you guys are ready for Text the Restaurant.
Text the Restaurant is happening?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh,
it's happening.
Is it Flaco Burgers? Because I want a Flaco Burger.
What's the food gonna be like? Yeah, what's the food gonna be like, girl? Is it gonna be all the Cheez-Its I used to eat for free? Because I ain't paying for no free Cheez-Its, okay?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's gonna be Mexican. That's my guess.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I'm into that.
But like, there's all these new rules now. Like this article just came out, like in California, where like French fries aren't considered a meal, wings aren't considered a meal. Like it has to be an actual meal. It can't be packaged, like sandwiches. So the Loft, you need to update your menu.
Well, in New York City, they're the ones who they came down on hardest, I think, in the beginning was because they were selling a cookie. Like you bought a cookie and then you can drink with your friends inside. And so are they going to do it in the down in the alley thing? Or are they going to keep it upstairs?
We're going to have the patio bar open, and then they're creating an outdoor area down in the pit.
I love it. I've wanted them to use that pit forever. Like that needs to be like when everything comes back, that's where we should do Pride. And where things like that should happen, because Pex is one of my favorite bars in San Diego. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see. We're supposed to have a meeting next week, so.
Oh well, good luck.
That's exciting.
That's one of my favorite bars. I miss all our places.
Yeah. I'm excited to go to Rich's on Sunday. We haven't been since they've done like the new
fun there.
Open space. It looks really cute. I'm really proud of them for putting that together. So I'm excited to go.
They're doing a really good job.
I know here in the community, like they're working hard at it, and
they're working really hard, and I really like that they're providing a safe space for us to go to. So that's really exciting. So.
And the food's coming right out of
Lestats, I think.
So it's good food, you know what I mean? It's stuff that you would have. It's stuff that I would have on lunch anyways, you know what I mean? That kind of a thing. And so if you're going to be doing that, and so just make sure that everybody's being very careful, and that if you are going to be sharing a table with people, this is just my little thing, is that make sure your friends aren't sick, and they weren't sick a week ago.
Yeah.
like talk to the people you're going to be hanging out with, and if they can't give you a straight answer, they can't come. Like it really, I mean, that's what it has to be right now. So
go get your COVID test. I got a COVID test just to give myself some peace of mind. I went down to the Tubman Chavez Center, which I don't know which part of town that was in, but I went. I stood in line for an hour, and a nurse assisted me with the swab. Gave me the swab. I did it myself. She told me like how far back and everything.
Did you touch your eyeball?
Yeah, it was super easy, and I got my results back in 2 days. Like, and they tell you it should take up to 5 business days, but it was really quick. I got my result. I went on Tuesday, and I got my results back on Friday. So, which I mean was not bad. So I mean, I was really happy. So negative. So all good.
Yeah. The thing is like honestly, I wish we could just like test like once a week and just be like, am I cool this week? Okay.
You know exactly. For
like
sure.
it needs like just like how you would test like your blood sugar. You know what I mean? like let us. That would be great. But you know, I think everybody has so many different things, and it shouldn't be a partisan issue. And now we're getting political on binge bitches, but whatever. But like, wear a mask,
we're
people.
Using our popularity for a good cause.
Basically, I want a Christmas. Like I know that like even like Halloween looks like a weird way off, but I want a Christmas. Maybe even Thanksgiving. Wouldn't that be cute that we all can go to people's like and see people for Thanksgiving? So.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pessimistic about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love for it to, but I don't think it's going to if California cannot act right, if people cannot continue to act right, you know.
I don't know. So, I might have to leave the country.
Right.
Go somewhere. Go and like.
You know, the depression's catching up with me. Like, and I'm not usually a depressed person, but you know, I'm depressed about the weight that I've gained. I'm depressed that I can't go work out for the weight that I've gained. My mental health is kind of taking a toll on me, and I can't see a psychiatrist because psychiatrists aren't taking new patients at the time. So it's like, what do we do to help sustain like our health, you know, and make sure that we're happy? You have to find something. So thank God I'm able to pull myself out of that, you know, and I'm able to do things that are helping me a little bit. But I mean, it will just catch up to us, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I think that there still are some therapists who are still taking things, and then there's apps like Headspace. There's apps that are out there that you could actually connect with somebody, and they do the sliding scale therapy, and that if you say you can only afford $10, that's what they'll take. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that kind of stuff is out there. So I think that, you know, sometimes it's just, you know, the ones that where people are referencing, but you never know. And the thing is and if you need to shop around for a therapist, I think it's a thing that you should do. You know, be comfortable with who you want to talk to. I think it's been taking a toll. It's been a hell of like you know, I think here in San Diego, I think everybody kind of felt collectively like, oh, we're closing everything back up again. And I think it just did an emotional toll, I think, on everybody, because it was like, oh, we were doing so well.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, we have
it's a roller coaster. It's just like, because like even with me, with my job, like my job went from completely closing down to only doing takeout to opening back up again to now we're only doing patio service. So like it's so hard to kind of just like, you know.
And it's limited because when we're back at work right now, so I haven't done like you know, and unemployment, that sort of thing, because I've been employed, I've been working still, you know. But the thing is like, but there is no commissions, there is no extra hours, this is what you can get for the week, and this is what you're paying. So my bills are met, and I have a little bit extra for like food. You know what I mean? So like it's like that's kind of where you're like living right now. So it'll get better. I wouldn't be so completely pessimistic and everything. And I think that we have to also look at just other things culturally are happening, and that there's lots of change. And if we didn't have this combustible, you know, place that we're living in right now as a society in the United States, that the change that is actually starting to happen and it's starting to filter through wouldn't be happening. So the rubber band's snapping, I think. And so hopefully in November we have something to celebrate. You know?
Yeah, that would be nice.
So if you're watching Binge Bitch, just make sure that you guys are registered to vote. And also there is a link inside of the description of this, either if you're watching it on Facebook or on YouTube, for standwithbree.com. You can find petitions there for Breonna Taylor, because her murderers still have not been arrested. And then you can also find some places that you can donate. And if you want to, go and just do a Google search and put in some victim's name, and you will find a petition. You will find a place that you can go and actively give back. And if you do one little thing, one little petition a day, one little post, I guarantee you're going to feel a little bit better, because the thing is, you're just doing something that's making the world a little bit better. And then you can say that you contributed something. You can stand back and say, I at least did this today. So that's my little 2 cents that I'm just saying in there. So anyways, this has been a fun episode and a little bit real here at the end. But if you guys want to follow my co-host on this, you guys can follow Gunther on IG at Gunther Vanderrules, or on TikTok at Gunther Vanderpump.
Follow her TikToks, girl. They funny.
She went viral with a TikTok this week about being in a bathhouse with poppers. Go find it. So it's all out there.
69,000 views.
Nice.
Yes.
And then we also have Nelson. He is on IG. You guys can find him at Yas Queen. And it's 2 A's, 3 S's, and a KW, because she don't know how to spell. So
public school.
So all that stuff is happening. So I know I've been talking about this for a little while, but we are going to be, I'm right now just trying to figure out how I want to take the binge bitches that we do on Fridays, and I want to incorporate those into the audio podcast that's going to be coming. So here's a little sneak peek for you guys who are watching, or who are around right now, who will be watching this later. So Binge Bitches is going to be moving over into an audio format, so you can take us with you, and like listen to us and put us in your ears while you're cleaning the house and whatnot. So we'll keep on these reality show ones that I want to keep this going on. As long as there's housewives or something shitty to talk about, we will talk about it. And then I'm also going to be actually doing the series is going to roll itself over. And I know we were doing panel shows for like Star Wars and whatnot, but I'm actually going to take Binge Bitches, and I'm going to make this my new podcast, where I'm going to be interviewing people like my friends here, my industry people, drag queens. I'm going to be calling in favors, celebrity people that have been who've been headliners in my shows in the past. And so we'll be doing little interviews, but I'm going to actually be talking to them about what they binge. And we're going to be going back from like what was their first, series that they watched when they were a kid. Were you a kid who watched Kids Incorporated? I want to know about it. Those kind of things. And then also, did you watch Felicity when you were coming of age and all that? So to talk about, you kind of get to know people through what they watch, and some things are sometimes surprising. So Binge Bitches will be taking a little bit of a change here when we go into the audio format. So I would say that we're going to be expecting that to probably happen the mid of August, if not a little bit sooner. So it's all coming together, equipment's happening. And then I don't know if we're going to keep this format of using like StreamYard to push this information and everything out, but I know, or we might be just doing everything via Zoom, recording that and then putting bumpers on. So look for Binge Bitches to be changing a little bit. But right now we are keeping this consistent show on Fridays because number one, we're in quarantine. So we want to talk to each other because we miss friends and having people around. And then plus we have other people in our lives that we live with that don't really want to talk about Housewives with us. So at least show up and talk to us about it. So that being said, thank you guys so much. Whoever is tuned in today, please like and subscribe Binge Bitches over on YouTube. My name is Dangilo. Oh yeah, tonight they are crowning somebody from Drag Race. So yeah, maybe we'll do like a little special like something and we'll like get people around. I don't know if it's gonna be tonight, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how I feel. But anyways, thank you guys so much. And follow us on the socials and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.